I'm not so sure that Bradley Beal coming back fixes all of that. The turnovers and the sloppy passes, that's not really a Bradley Beal issue. So that's got to clean up. Now, it'll make it easier. Spacing will be a little bit better, but there's a lot of other things that are not Bradley Beal related, and Bradley Beal's not going to be the fix-all coming back if they don't clean some of these other things up from a fundamental standpoint.
No, I certainly think he can help with the passing. He's proven that he can be a guy that can handle the ball and get some assists, but one thing that I'm starting to get a little frustrated with is the starting lineup that includes Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen. I think it's time to move Eric Gordon to the bench. You gave up too much size in that first quarter in particular for me. I don't like what Eric Gordon has been doing in terms of what he's adding out there with that starting unit. I'd rather have had a KBD out there with that starting unit. Josh Okogie, a more defensive-minded guy out there.
They held him to 106 on 37% shooting.
Yeah, but go back and look at the first quarter, some of the sloppiness, some of the second chance points, some of the things that happened. I'm not in on Eric Gordon in that starting lineup personally.
What I would say is when you have a guy like Eric Gordon, because he's an older guy, you typically know if he's on or not. And I felt like in the fourth quarter, he wasn't really a factor much. So if that's the case, they kept switching and trying to put, he was trying to defend Anthony Davis at some points, like down low on the block. I probably would have switched it up a little bit and put somebody else in there for him because he wasn't really hitting any shots and he wasn't really doing anything on offense. It's just kind of standing around like everybody else was. So you might as well get somebody else on D that can at least physically match up a little bit better. But I mean, we're really just pulling at hairs on this one.
He got a fourth quarter highlight package, so there's that.
That was strange. That was something.
The 7-point highlight package.
That was something. My question though is who would you start? Because that starting five, even tonight, most of the starters wound up in the plus category despite losing the game. That lineup was a plus 26 net rating coming into the game and turned it around after the first quarter to probably boost that or at least keep it level. Like, who are you putting in? I just think the offensive firepower until you get Beal back.
But how much is Eric Gordon adding to that?
He's adding a ton of spacing. We're looking at box scores here, but if you look at the plays when he's on the court, the spacing that he adds, the ability to drive with some of those bully ball drives, I don't know who you're going to put in his place that's going to fill that role better. Like, Nasir's been hit or miss, and he's a bench guy. Yuta has not been that guy. KBD, I mean, you've gotten good stuff at times when you put him in, but offensively, he's not a threat as a three-point shooter right now. So
yeah, for sure.
I don't know who you go to.
I was more talking about the fourth quarter myself. I don't really give a shit about the starting lineup.
Well, yeah.
Because it doesn't, in this game it did have an impact because they were just throwing the ball over like crazy. So
yeah,
I would have opted for, like I said, a little bit more size. I probably would have went KBD in that fourth quarter, just because of the physical matchup on defense. Because honestly, nobody else was really getting an opportunity on this side of the ball. And even if they were, it was so late in the shot clock, they didn't really have an opportunity to really make anything happen. A lot of those guys are not that guy. They're not shot creators on themselves. They rely on Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to find them when they get double teamed.